shouldn't do that, shouldn't do that, shouldn't do that, shouldn't do that, shouldn't do that. Good morning, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of 31 Progressive Rock Stocking Stuffers for the Holidays from 1971. Doing this show each and every day throughout December, bringing you some of the best, some of my favorites, prog classics from 1971. Celebrating prog rock this month. We did metal and hard rock last month. It's all about prog. It's all about those classic prog albums that are turning 50 this year in 2021. From 1971 today, day 15. A very, very cool album that I like quite a bit. I like this band quite a bit as well. This album came out October 8th, 1971 on the United Artists label. Most of the world, produced by George Chance and the band. How does he say his name? Chicans? Can't say it, man. The second album from Hawkwind, In Search of Space. And in case you have no idea what I was singing to start it all off with, I was listening to this before we started taping. One of the great unsung epic tracks of all time kicks off this album. It's called You Shouldn't Do That. It's just, I mean, could it be the quintessential space rock classic of all time? Perhaps. It's so good. Man, the throbbing bass, the synthesizer blips and bleats all over the place, the haunting vocals, the every now and then stabs of saxophone. It's just so good. This album is just so good. So this features Dave Brock on vocals, electric guitar, 12-string guitars, acoustic guitars, harmonica, audio generator. How often do you hear, like in the early 70s, some of these prog bands, they played the audio generator? Okay, whatever the hell that is, right? But Hawkwind were very famous for doing that. Nick Turner on alto, saxophone, flute, and lead vocals, and audio generator. Del Detmar on synthesizer. Dick Mick on audio generator. Dick Mick, also known as Michael Davies. Dave Anderson on bass guitar. Electric and acoustic guitars. All right. He would soon be replaced by none other than Lemmy Kilmister, otherwise known as Lemmy from Motorhead. Yes, he was in Hawkwind for a bunch of years. And Terry Ollis on drums and percussion. Also on, if you get the remaster various session tracks, you got Robert Calvert on vocals, and like I said, Lemmy on bass guitar, as well as Simon King on drums. These guys will be coming into the band shortly after this album was released. So the album itself is a true space rock classic. For me, I mean, I dig the first Hawkwind album, but I really don't think they fully hit on their sound, excuse me, until this second album. To me, this second album is where the Hawkwind style and sound fully came into bloom. You Shouldn't Do That, like I said, kicks things off. What a fantastic 15-plus minute long space rock epic. It's just, it throbs, it bobs, it weaves. It's just intoxicating. Sometimes I forget how much I really love this song. And listening to it this morning, usually every morning before I tape these, I like to kind of, once again, even though most of these albums I know really, really well, I like to get another one last fresh listen before I talk about them. I'm just playing this album and I'm like, oh, this is so damn good. You Know You're Only Dreaming comes up next, which is also really cool. I love the blippy synthesizer stuff that pops up all throughout these songs. It's just like, it's so typical Hawkwind. You know, you listen, it's like this meditative kind of spacey little passage, and all of a sudden you hear the synths popping up. It's awesome, and the vocals kind of floating over the top. Great stuff. Then you've got, moving on to the original LP, the second side of the LP, you've got Master of the Universe, which is 6 minutes of big, heavy riffing. It's like kind of like Black Sabbath-y, right? Maybe not quite as doomy, but Dave Brock's big riffs. It's so catchy. Master of the Universe, such a great heavy rocker in their catalog. Then we Took the Wrong Steps years ago. Spacey, floaty, just awesome song. Adjust Me, another cool, kind of atmospheric and trippy ride, right, with Hawkwind. And then the last song is Children of the Sun, which is more of like an acoustic based track with still those kind of, odd vocals, but just, more acoustic guitar based and just kind of like atmospheric and a little bit lush, right, which is kind of a interesting way to finalize and finish this album based on the bombast at the beginning, right? So You Shouldn't Do That starts things off in just explosive fashion, and then Children of the Sun kind of finishes it off. I always love on these early albums the interplay on the vocals between Nick Turner and Dave Brock, because they both have very distinct vocal styles. And I, for one, I wish these two guys could just get along and patch things up. But I love hearing Nick Turner in Hawkwind because I like that kind of squonky, noisy, screechy saxophone that comes in every so often throughout these early albums from Nick Turner. You know, the sax and the flute. It kind of added this kind of like free jazz element to their space rock music, which I think is kind of sadly lack. As much as I love like more modern day Hawkwind stuff, I miss Nick in Hawkwind. I think that if you kind of really grew up with Hawkwind with those early albums, that was a part of it. You got the heavy riffing from Dave. You have all this weird spacey synthesizers and that just screechy saxophone and flute, which was all part of it. And it's what makes a lot of these early albums really unique. So, In Search of Space, a classic album. Let's just get you a picture of the guys in the band. There they are. Awesome stuff. One of the great, whether it's funny when I talk about Hawkwind, it's kind of hard to pinpoint a favorite album. I think this is a top 3, definitely a top 5 album. It's right up there for some people. It might be their favorite. Hall of the Mountain Grill is one of my real favorites, but this is definitely up there. If it's not, it's either a 1, 2, 3, or 4 or 5 for me, depending on kind of the mood I'm in. But it's definitely one of the great ones. Their second album from 1971. Let us know what you think about this magnificent space rock classic In Search of Space in the comments below, and Hawkwind in general. And stay tuned tomorrow for another stocking stuffer from progressive rock's, from the great year in Prague, 1971. One of progressive rock's early glory years. Definitely the first couple of years of the 70s were all about these great bands coming from all over the world, just delivering some really stunning and different music in the history of rock and roll. So thanks for watching. Visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alerted of all of our videos as they go live, as they post. You don't want to miss any of it. We've also got the link below to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, the link to our merch site for all sorts of Sea of Tranquility stuff. I do want to remind everybody we are running a sale between now and the end of the month, so please take advantage of that. Hop on over to the link below and check out all the different shirts and hoodies and hats and stickers and all sorts of fun stuff that we've got available. All different sizes. We ship all over the world, and we've got all sorts of different. We got In the Prog Seat stuff, Hudson Valley Squares, the Monsters Den, all sorts of different configurations, metal and prog. So depending on what you like, hopefully we got something for you. And please also visit our webzine, www.seaoftranquility.org, celebrating 20 years on the internet this year. So I'm Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow morning, all right? Take care. Have a good one. Bye-bye.